Hi, my name is Setty Pendakur, and looking at the audience here, well, I lived in Kerrisdale for 36 years, and I remember several parts of the community center were billed to me as part of the local improvement taxes. And those of you who are old enough to remember that, almost 3/4 of this center was paid for by local improvement taxes, like the street lights, like changes to the water system. So I was also on the council before half of you were born. So try not to shoot the messengers. The city officials are essentially conveying to all of us the message that has been formulated by the people who elect. So if you want to shoot anybody, then shoot the elected ones. So there are some assumptions here that are basically and philosophically wrong. There are 2 or 3 speakers who are also teachers here, and occasionally they lose their check. Something happens, they lose the check that we give them. And we in the Roundhouse issue that check in a day. Try to get the Parks Board or the city to issue a check in a day. So the assumption is you can do all these things well, all these things better. And there is also the philosophic assumption that they can manage your money much better than you can. This seems to be like salesman from your bank. And where are we now? We're at the crossroads looking at 50 years of what has worked in many places. And looking at all of you, either you have already grown up children or you have grown up grandchildren. So if 2 of your children or grandchildren are not doing well in school, one of them, and one of them is doing very well, do you want to make sure that the one that is doing well is also not doing well? And especially those of you who are grandparents, we have a grandchild that is 10. She's doing well. But if she was not doing well, I would suggest to my son and daughter-in-law that they get a tutor, they do more homework, they do whatever they can to do better in their school. So that attitude is missing here. What is happening here, none of us in this room are opposed to making sure that those centers like Thunderbird or wherever are not doing well, they're in poorer areas. Nobody in Kerrisdale objects to making sure that they get a little more money. We've always done that. So the idea is not to do away with what works, but to do well with what doesn't. So if you have 2 light bulbs in your house, one of them is not working, one of them is working very well, don't replace both of them. There is one more simple assumption that is also wrong. Those of us that are old enough in this room have realized that the city does some things very well and some things they do not do well. So, but there is an implicit assumption here that the city can manage these things, whether it is money or whether it is whatever else, much better than the citizens can. And it is absolutely wrong. And the citizens have proved this many, many times in practically Every second or the third election, we throw the rascals out, bring the new rascals in. So what I would like you to go back, just like we want to do in the Roundhouse, do two things, please. Support your association. Somebody already mentioned contributing to the association to make sure that we have ability to do what we're supposed to do on your behalf. And let me conclude by saying you are absolutely fortunate in having an extraordinarily competent, devoted, and hard-working group here, not just now, but going back 20, 30 years. Thank you very much.